Hey guys, welcome back to my soap studio. Today, I'm cutting a lot of soap, over 53 pounds of it. It's actually the most soap I've ever made in one go, and I was able to do that with my slab mold here. And I don't know why I didn't get this mold sooner. It probably had something to do with the cost and how tight-fisted I am when it comes to my small business. But now that I have slab molds, I love them. I just think they look really cool, you know? All that soap in there and the cutting bit, super satisfying. For this video, I just wanted a more relaxed vibe and invite you to spend the day with me in the studio cutting all this soap and maybe making some bubble bars. That depends on how the editing goes. Sometimes when the editing goes a bit too long, I just cut the footage that I took short and go with what I've got. So we'll see how I feel by the end of this. So grab a coffee, tea, biscuit, or snack, and let's get started. Activated charcoal soap is a classic. I mean, look at that dark color, it's so moody. And activated charcoal soap has major label appeal. Known for drawing out impurities in skin like a magnet, activated charcoal soap will get you feeling really clean. So if you're an oily skin girly, get yourself a bar of activated charcoal soap. It'll help keep your pores unclogged and help you feeling that much cleaner. With the way this soap mold is and how I like the size of my soap bars, by the time I cut 5 loaves, I get a ½ inch of soap left over at the very end of it. For this, I cut them into small sample bar sizes that I will also sell to those who want to try my soap but don't necessarily want to commit to a full-sized 7-ounce bar. I get this comment a lot that my soap bars are really big, and yes, they are. They're like this because I personally love when soap is chunky, and as a soap bar user myself, I sell what I love. So that's the simple explanation. It's not anything complicated, just I make big soap bars because I like to use big soap bars. This activated charcoal soap is scented with a blend of tea tree, lavender, eucalyptus, and mint essential oils, so cutting this is such a treat. It really feels like I'm in a spa or something. The smell of it is so soothing. And for those who have been asking about my soap cutter, the company I purchased the soap cutter from on Etsy is actually no longer selling soap cutters. And I'm really sad about this because I get questions all the time about the soap cutter, and I hate it. I hate it when I can't direct people to the business, especially when I love the product and I do love this soap cutter. I have zero regrets taking the plunge and investing in this guy. One of my best purchases I've made for my business for sure, hands down. I'm upping production in my studio right now because Kayla and I are going on a family vacation. My family in Ontario, Canada, is meeting us in the Caribbean for a little reunion and family trip, and we're so excited. By the time you guys are watching this video, we'll be there, and I cannot wait. It's been over a year since I've seen my family, and even longer since I've been on a vacation with them. My niece and nephew will be there, my sisters and their significant others, and my parents, everyone. So I'm doing what I can now so that I can relax and truly be on vacation when I'm there. That's how you have to operate when you're running a small business all by yourself. A lot of people say the solution is to hire people, and that is definitely a good solution. This will for sure allow you to take breaks and keep the business going at the same time, but for me, I don't know. I don't think I'm there yet. I'm not saying no forever to hiring people. It could definitely be me someday, but the Jerica today isn't ready to be an employer of a team, and that's okay with me. If you're a small business owner and you feel anxious about where you are in your progress, thinking you should be further along, or you're not a good business owner because you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, whatever that means, I've been there. And something that's massively helped me is to think of my soap business career as seasons. Whatever stage you're at, whatever season you're in, you're exactly where you're supposed to be. If there's another season you'd like to be in, it's going to take some work, and you'll probably have to do things that are out of your comfort zone, but that's really what it takes for you to go from one season to the next. Speaking of doing things out of your comfort zone, what I'm making now are bubble bars. Yay, they made the cut. These bubble bars are a solid bubble bath that I'm making for my golden bubble patrons. If you're watching this and want one of these bubble bars, it's too late to get one of these guys. You'll get April's gifts, and I'm not quite sure what those will be yet. Anyways, bubble bars have been a project I've been wanting to do for a long time, especially since my channel first blew up from my bath bomb making videos. But I've always put it off until today. And I'm telling you, these bubble bars were surprisingly challenging. The first hurdle was formulating a good recipe. And then when I actually got around to making them, I was surprised at how physically demanding these guys are to make. And you'll see what I mean in a minute. Maybe it's because I'm a beginner. Okay, it's definitely because I'm a beginner, but my technique needs adjustment, I think, which will come with time and practice. I have faith in myself. Speaking of faith, this is definitely a super underrated aspect you will need to start a small business. You have to believe in yourself, as corny as that sounds. It's just so important because you'll be confronted with doubt everywhere. So many opinions and unsolicited advice will hound you the second you start to tell people about what you want to do. So do yourself a massive favor and start believing in yourself and put that control back where it belongs. This will help you be more accountable. This will help you focus on what actions you have to take to get closer to your goals. And it will drown out the naysayers and allow you to concentrate on what matters. But back to this bubble bar, I was inspired by Lush's Avo Cuddle bubble bar. So it's scented in lemongrass, bergamot with a little bit of lime. I initially wanted to make them in the shape of avocados, but I was feeling kind of lazy and decided to do the more traditional bubble bar roll that Lush made super popular. If you're rolling the bar and it's cracking like crazy on you, a quick fix is to add more liquid. But you're basically making a bubble bar burrito that you're going to cut into slices in a bit. Fun fact about me, I used to work as a line chef in a chain restaurant. I used to make dozens of wraps every shift. That job was so much fun, but also super stressful. And they actually tried to get me to the front of the house to try to be a server, but that was a complete disaster. I was way too introverted, my short-term memory was terrible, and math is my worst subject, so that part of my life didn't last very long. So when it comes to cutting your roll, you can use these kinds of tools, but I want to show you the difference between cutting with a knife versus cutting with something really sharp or a wire, which is my preferred method of cutting into these guys. So if you use a knife, and a dull one at that, this is kind of what you might get. A lot of cracks, a lot of tears, but if you use a wire to cut your bubble bar, so much cleaner, and you get the beautiful swirls that these bubble bars are known for. Well, at least the Lush bubble bars. So use a really sharp knife, or if you don't have one on hand, use a wire cutter and you will get great swirls if that's what you're going for. But I normally don't mind a messy bubble bar. Some people really care about that kind of thing. I'm more of a If it's not perfect, then that's fine by me. So here is my fun batch of bubble bars that I made. And here's the difference between what cutting with a dull-ish knife versus a wire cutter, how that will look. But when the smell of lemongrass, lime, and bergamot all together, lovely. I love that essential oil combination. And I'm really hoping that my Golden Bubble patrons love this bubble bar as much as I have been enjoying it. And the way you would use a bubble bar is to hold it under a running faucet in your bath, and you can crumple it up or leave it as is, and it will form nice big bubbles. And this recipe dries super rock hard too, so it will do well in shipping. If you want to make these guys, this exact bubble bar recipe, I have a link to my Patreon down below where I have all of the steps and a dedicated blog post which walks through a few tips and tricks, why I chose the ingredients that I chose, all of that, that's found on my Patreon. And for everyone who has chosen to support me on Patreon, thank you so much, especially these guys, my Bubble BFFs. Your support, your generosity, and your encouragement means so much to me. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for keeping me company in my studio. It was nice having you guys, and until the next video, keep smiling, keep being awesome, and I will see you in that next video. Bye guys.